Alright, everyone, let's launch up GitHub. So this is what you should see. Uh, come on up to this plus mark up here in the top left corner. Click clone. Find the workshop. It's the fall 2017. And click clone the VGDA workshop fall 2017. What this is doing is it's getting the game files from the cloud. So you now have the game on your computer. So with that, let's launch Unity.
Can you do that from the web browser version?
You can do it from the browser. I don't know that by heart.
It's a zip file that you're downloading?
No.
What?
Are you getting a zip file?
It's under assets. Is it under assets in the folder?
Can you come on up really quick? Show me.
Like I'm on the page and I'm just wondering, is it one of these things?
No, you're supposed to launch the app. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the app.
Hang on. I think I have that.
Okay, to be clear, please launch the GitHub desktop application that you downloaded and installed. Can I get a show of hands who has not done that yet? Really quick? Okay.
That was just the web browser.
So this workshop is actually getting recorded, so I am going to have to continue. Alright, so bring up Unity, click open right here, navigate to your GitHub folder. If you did the default installation, it should be in Documents, GitHub, and select folder, and then click select folder right here, and it's going to launch it up.
So clone repository.
Yeah, it was a clone workshop, and then click the button down there at the bottom. Okay, so if you followed along and haven't had any hiccups, yeah.
So this is version 1.1 F1.
2017.1.1 F1.
Is it a problem if I'm running 5.6 to F1?
For this, no, but when we're actually making your game, it would be best if you got the newest version. So if you haven't had or weren't able to clone it, you can just open up Unity and make a 2D project, and you will still be able to follow along with me. Can I get a show of hands of anyone who is not here? Okay. Okay, you're good. The people who raised their hands, are you good now, or?
I'm almost there.
Okay.
You can keep going. I'm okay.
Okay. All right. So this is Unity. There are a whole bunch of windows. I'm just gonna go over them briefly. This one up here is called your hierarchy. This is the window that contains all of your game objects in the current scene that you're on. This all the way over here in the inspector tab. This tab is gonna have all of your scripts, components shown when you select a game object. This down here, the project tab. This project tab will contain all of your project files. This is the console. You will receive any logs or if something went wrong, that will appear there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a platform. If you're not sure what we're doing, we're going to make a basic physics infinite runner. So to begin with, in the hierarchy, right-click in the blank space, select 2D object. We're going to do a sprite. So once you've done that, why don't we go ahead and change the name? So as you can see, when I select on the do sprite game object in the hierarchy, stuff pops up in the inspector. This little text box right here, that's going to be the name. Let's change that to platform. Cool. So what we need to do now is we need to give it a sprite. So under the transform component is the sprite render. The first value right here, sprite, where it says none, this box, this little circle to the right of it. Click that, and then click this one right here. So that's gonna give it a sprite. And as you can see, if I zoom in, you can see that it's right there. So it's not really a platform right now, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna stretch it. So go back up here to the transform component under scale, X, let's make that 15. Cool. So we have our platform. Why don't we go ahead and make a player really quick? So the same as before. Come up here to the hierarchy. Right click, 2D object, sprite, and let's rename that as the player. Now let's change the sprite of the player. So same as before, go up to the circle right there, and we're going to click the circle one. So as you can see, the player is directly in the middle of the platform. We don't want that. So up here, select the player, go up here, and click the second button. This is the translation tool. Once you select that, these two the green and red arrows will appear. Click and drag on the green arrow, and just drag it up. Just like that. Alright, cool. So now if we go up and play the game, which is a little triangle right here, you can see that the game objects that you made are there, but they're not doing anything. So why don't we make it so the player can react with gravity? So select your player object, come on down here to add component in the inspector tab. Select the rigid body 2D. This is the component that allows the game object to interact with physics. So if we come on up and play again, the player interacts with gravity and the player falls. But the player falls through the platform. That's because the platform doesn't have a collider on it. So let's head on up to the platform, add component, and we're going to do a box collider 2D. Notice that there's a box collider and a box collider 2D. Since we're making a 2D game, please use the 2D, otherwise it's not going to work. So we added that, so if now we play again, the player still falls through. That's because the player itself doesn't have a collider. So select the player, add a component, and we want to add a circle collider this time. So play again. The player falls but stops on top of the platform. Nice. Alright, so one of the key features of a infinite runner is that the player continuously runs to the right. So what we're going to do now, we're going to make a custom script that we're going to attach to the player. So in your project tab down here, into scripts, go up to create, C# script, and type in your first and last name, underscore, player, controller. The reason that I have you type in your first and last name is to prevent merge conflicts when you send in your work through GitHub. Yes. I will demonstrate it again. So in the project tab, in the script folder, in the empty space, click create C# script. And your first and last name, underscore, player, controller. So now we want to attach this to the player. So let's go up to the player, and we can just simply drag the script on top of the player object in the hierarchy, and the script is attached. So once you do that, come on back to the project tab, double click on the script that you just made. The script is either going to open in Visual Studio or Mono Develop.
So again, on the click a player to add the script to the player, what do you do?
Select, drag and drop the script onto your player object in your hierarchy.
The inspector or the hierarchy?
Yeah, the hierarchy. And then once you do that, double click on the script that you just made, and it's gonna open up in either Visual Studio or Mono Develop. Can I get a show of hands? Who is here? Okay. I think I'll wait just a little bit longer to get some of the people caught up.
So, you have the main camera on your Unity screen, but that didn't pop up, so when I'm trying to hit play, it says that it's not seeing anything. How do you add the camera?
Hey guys, I'm starting class, and
Not quite sure what you mean by that. I'm sorry.
So, like, under the Untitled, I didn't have, like, the main camera when it launched.
Oh, okay.
So how do you add that? Just drop it in there.
So just right click, select camera, all the way at the bottom, and it should give you all the components. Let's see, okay. So for you, go up here to projection and click orthographic. And depth here should be -1. And play and see if that works. Okay, so I will be continuing. Okay, so this is a script in Unity. Whenever you make a script in Unity, it's going to give you two default functions: the start function and the update function. Whenever a script is loaded, when you press play, the start function will be called first. Then after that's done, anything in here will continuously execute. As you can see, the comment update is called once per frame. So what we're trying to do now is we're trying to get the player to move continuously to the right. The way that we're going to do that, we're going to continuously add force to the player's rigid body. So to be able to get to do that, we have to create a reference to the player's rigid body. So come on up here, the section, this section between class and the comment. We're gonna call that private rigid body 2D RB2D. And you have to make sure that there is a semicolon at the end. All right, and start. So we typed this. This is going to be a reference to the rigid body, but we have to actually set it. So in the start function, type in RB2D equals get component rigid body 2D within the chevrons right here, and the open and close parentheses, because we're calling a function that's going to find the rigid body 2D component that's attached to the player. So we have that. So now we wanted to continuously add force. So to do that, we're going to type RB2D dot add force parentheses, close parentheses, semicolon, And within the parentheses, we're going to type in new vector 3. There's a vector 2 and a vector 3. Vector 3 is for 3D. Vector 2 is for 2D. The reason that we're doing vector 3 is because this add force requires it for it to be a vector. So for the vector 3, so new vector 3, open parentheses, close parentheses, and so we want the player to continuously go to the right. So we're going to type in 0, 1, 0, 0. And then make sure to save. And let's hop back to here. Press play. And as you can see, the player will continuously move to the right. Cool. So hop back to the script. So now we want the player to be able to jump. So within the same function as adding the force, press enter to go below it. And we're going to do if input get key down key code space. So this if statement right here, once per frame, this statement is going to check if the player pressed down on the space bar. So within here, we're going to type in rb2d dot add force new vector 3 0 in the x, 1 in the y because we want the player to go up, and 0 for the z. However, that's not going to be enough. So we're going to up here under the private rigid body 2D, we're going to type in public jump strength. Sorry, public int jump strength. We're going to come down here and we're going to times it by that jump strength. And we have it as public so we can see it within the inspector, and we can change it directly within the inspector. Cool. So we have that. Make sure to save. Come back to Unity. Select on the player. Scroll down to the script you attach, and as you can see the field jump strength right here. Let's make that 200. Come back up here to play, and whenever you press the spacebar, there's going to be force that's going to be applied to it in the up direction, which makes the player jump. Cool. So with that, let's actually create more platforms. So select the platform, Control C, Control V. It's going to make a platform. And if you don't have the translation tool selected, select it. And then on the X position or the red arrow, click and drag it over. And we're going to do it again. So we're going to have 3 platforms total. Why don't we make sure that they're all spaced correctly? So I think 3 is a good distance between each platform. So platform 1, so select on the platform, go go up to the transform, and as you see, in the transform component, in the position, there's an X, Y, and Z. The X is 0 for your platform 1 in parentheses right here. Make sure that's 3. So now platform 1 is spaced 3 units in front of that one. And we're going to do the same thing for platform 2, but we're going to make that 6. So each platform is spaced evenly in increments of 3. So now if we do that, when you click play, the player now goes over to the right, and you're able to jump between each platforms. But the camera doesn't follow the player right now. So let's make a custom script. So come on down to your script folder, right click, create C# first and last name underscore camera follow. Now, one other way that you can attach scripts to game objects instead of dragging and dropping it on top, come onto the main camera, game object, go here to add component, and type in the name of your script, and you should see it right there. The camera follow, just select it, and your script will be attached to your game object. So once we do that, double click on your camera script. It's going to open up in Visual Studio or Develop. So the purpose of the script is for the camera to be able to follow the player. To be able to do that, we have to get a reference. Yeah.
What if you make the main camera an object of the player? Does that also make it follow the player?
Yeah, that could work too. The reason I'm doing this is like kind of want people to get like a hang for hang for coding.
Nice catch.
Yeah, nice catch. So in here, type in public game object player semicolon. Once you type that, save, head back to Unity. Once you save that, head back to Unity, and a field for the player should pop up. Click and drag the player from your hierarchy right there. Huh? Yeah, sure. Okay, so select your main camera, go up to the player, click, drag and drop it into the field.
Go ahead and let me add the script component.
Have you tried dragging and dropping on top? Or it's
So like I'll try to drag and drop the camera follow onto the camera, and it says can't add script component because the script class cannot be found.
what did you name your script?
First name, last name underscore camera follow.
Could you come on up really quick?
This.
Yeah. Maybe you can see on the space right there. Okay, there you go. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. So going back to the script. So we have reference to the player. So now we want the camera to follow the player. So type in transform dot position equals new vector 3, and we want to follow the players, so we're actually going to do player dot transform dot position dot x for the x position, and player dot transform dot position dot y for the y position, and we're going to have the z position as minus 10. 13 minutes. Okay. So we've done that. Save and come on back to Unity, and the camera's all followed. Oh, sorry. Mine didn't save. Cool. So the camera now follows. So let's see, I have 13 minutes, so I'm gonna have to shorten this down a little bit. It's unfortunate. So the player moves to the right now. The camera follows, but now we have to take these platforms, and we have to move the platforms in front of the player. So the way we're going to do that with physics-based collisions. Up here, right click to the object sprite. We're going to rename this to platform teleporter. Going to give it a sprite. We're going to scale it up 15 on the Y. And we're going to bring it back here. And we want this to follow the player. So come up here, right click, create C# script. Ken Miller, or your first last name, platform teleporter. And we're gonna attach that to our teleporter. Gonna open up the script and go back to your camera, copy and paste that there, and copy and paste that from the camera script in the update here. Change that to 0. But if we do that, that teleporter is going to follow directly on top of the players. So up here, in public float follow offset. What we're going to do, we're going to subtract that from the x position, like so, so that it follows behind the player. So if you do that and you head back up here, go to the platform teleporter object, select the player, and drag it in here. And we're going to have the follow offset as 3. So once you do that, that follows directly behind you. So now what we want to do is when that bar hits the platforms, we want to actually move that platform over. So from here, so this is starting at position 0. This platform is at 3, and this platform is at 6. So what we want to do, we want to take the platform's current position and we want to add a 9 to it. So that way, when this bar touches this platform is going to move right here. So why don't we do that really quick? So in the platform teleporter script, directly underneath the platform, we're going to create a new function. We're going to type in void on collision enter 2D. And what we're going to do is we're going to type if collision dot game object dot name dot contains close parentheses platform. So what this is doing when the bar touches this game object, it's going to collect the collision information. We're gonna get its name. We're gonna see if its name contains the string of platform. So with that, so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna do collision game object transform position. It's gonna be equal to the new vector 3, and we're gonna use its current position. So instead of doing that, we can just copy paste that dot x. We want to add 9 to it, so we're going to do that plus 9. Paste again. This time do dot y and then a 0, and then close parentheses. Make sure to have a semicolon at the end. So once you do that, save, come on back. There are a couple things that we need to add to the platform teleporter game object. So select on it, add component, box collider 2D, and rigid body 2D. In the rigid body 2D, under the gravity scale, we want that as 0. So that it's not affected by gravity. So now, if we play, when the bar touches the platform, it's going to take that platform and it's going to move it over 9 spaces. And that pretty much concludes the Unity. But first, okay, so you saw that the 5 minutes, okay. So you saw that as I was playing, the bar was actually starting to tilt. Go back to the rigid body and click on constraints on here. This little drop down, this freeze rotation. We want to freeze it on the Z position. So yeah, this is the really basic infinite runner that you've made. So what we're going to do now is we're going to save our level. So in the hierarchy, just click that and do Control S. Your first and last name, and just type in like level 1, so that it's saved. So we're now officially done with Unity. Let's hop back to GitHub. Select the workshop tab down here. Go up to the changes And these are all the changes that you've made. So any sort of prefabs you made, any scripts or levels, you will see it here. Right now, I will be showing you how to make a pull request. These are the steps that you'll be taking when you're done with your work for the week and you're ready to turn it into me. So select where you want to turn in. We're just going to stick with everything. In the summary, type in something like workshop finished. The bigger box down here, you don't have to type anything there, but if you want to add any sort of like notes, you can. Um, actually, sorry. Before we do that, we're actually going to be making a branch. Now, what a branch is? So there's the master, and what you want to do, you want to create a branch that branches off, for lack of better words, from the master, so that way you'll be able to do your work without doing any changes to the master file, which is really bad. So come up here, this little drop down right here which says master, go to the left of it. It says create new branch. Call it your first name, last name, underscore branch. A new branch. And as you can see, this little visual right here, so here's the master branch, and here's the branch that you just made. So once you've done that, going back, so here are your changes. Type in something, workshop finished within the summary. You can type something in the description. Down here, click commit to your branch. But you're not done yet. You've made the commit, but it only commits to your local machine. You actually have to send in your work. So up here, pull request. Typically, you should just keep everything default. You don't really need to do anything. And then click send pull request. And then once that sends, that's the conclusion of this workshop. Thank you. So I think now there's like a 10 to 15-minute break.
Yeah.
15-minute break before the next. Oh, hi. There's a 15-minute break before the next crash course, which is going to be sound, hosted by Daniel Ramos. And there's time you can do whatever you want. There's some questions from the back. Go out, stretch your legs, walk around, chit chat, all that.
Following that workshop will be the gameplay workshop hosted by myself.